My name is Yong Wei. I'm 37 years old this year. I have been in and out of prison 6 times since 1998, and my last release was 2017 February. What made me first get into trouble with the law? My first encounter breaking the law was at the age of 11 when I started to sniff glue. So what made me did that was out of curiosity, with also acceptance from the friends that I'm with, and it just leads me to want that togetherness, and so I started that thing. What led me back to crime the previous time? I couldn't fulfill something in my heart. I couldn't cover that void, and I wanted to have more and more. So I went back to look for excitement, such as gambling, and then drugs came in, and then it just get more deeper and deeper. What was the turning point in my journey? Well, I must say, in 2012, when I was caught, right, I really wanted to give up my life. I was really so depressed. I lose so much money. I was so highly on drugs. I couldn't stop. I would borrow money again to buy drugs, borrow money again to gamble. And I just feel so tired of my life. There was a point where I almost jump off from the window, but I just don't have the strength. I think I'm more than a coward. So I stepped back in, and I realized that I couldn't take charge of my life. I wasn't as brave as I am to say I can take hold and take charge of everything. And I have decided not to care about my life. So I went into prison. I served my sentence for 5 years, 3 months as a LT1. And while I was in prison, they happened to have this course called CIRCP, which is a faith-based course, a faith-based. So I went through that course, and I found forgiveness, I found love, I found mercy, and I found a true meaning of my life, of what I did. I realized that I was deeply loved, and I realized that before I know that faith, whatever thing that I choose to do was actually out of reaction. And at this turning point, I really realized that the truth is I'm deeply loved by that someone, and that faith has caused me to truly learn to love myself and others, that I shouldn't be hurting myself. What were the main challenges that I faced with reintegrating with my family? One of the challenges that I find that is so relevant in my life is trust. That at times when I think back on myself, I couldn't even trust myself. For the past 30 years, I didn't do good at all. And how can I tell myself, just within these 3 years, I am a changed person? I can't even convince myself that. So how am I going to tell my mom, say, hey, I'm a changed person now, why you don't believe me? I really don't dare to say that word, and I find these are really some challenges that we need to humbly face if we want to turn over a new leaf. And once you're on the right track, you're heading on the right track, you don't have to explain, you don't have to keep explaining why you're doing that. You just need to tell yourself you cannot go back to the same old way. Then I think time will do the rest, Lord. How did my family support me in achieving my goals? So before I release, I actually tell myself, I say, in a way, I prayed, and I say, God, I just don't want to be a pain to them anymore. So that is actually my goal, not to be someone that is hurting my family. I don't want to cause any trouble, even a fine. I don't want to cause it. I don't even want to owe a single fine. I don't want to have anything to do with legal, so that my family can have this peace, knowing that I won't create any trouble for them. Okay, what were some things that I did differently this time around? One of a very interesting thing that I did very different from all my sentences that I said was the decision that I made, even while in prison. I realized that there are certain habits in my life that I want to stop. And when I say I want to stop the habit, I really stopped while I was in prison with the truth that I have the freedom to choose. Even physically, I cannot touch them, such as cigarette, such as alcohol, drugs, mixing with my friends and doing illegal stuff. I actually stopped doing that. What were some skills that I learned and applied? I think one of the very relevant one also is called the ripple effect. The ripple effects, I remember in the course, right, it tells us that if you see a pond of water, right, and they are still, if you drop a round shape into it, the round shape will grow bigger and bigger, and then when it hits the wall of the pond, it also comes back in the round shape. It is very much like what we inmates or our background people will say, what goes around comes around. Yes, it's very much like that. But the problem is we didn't go further and see how big the influence is. Because the influence is so huge that if you put on a smile, if you greet someone with a smile, you never know how you're going to impact the whole round and people giving you back that smile. And I find, that is one of the greatest thing that we can do to one another in life, is to bring joy, bring peace, bring smile to one another.